Welcome to church for Home of Christ Kids. I'm Miss Stacy, and today is Kick-Off Sunday of our new school year. Now, whether you are watching from home or are in person with us here at church, we are so glad that you are tuning in because we are on the hunt today for something big. I mean, really big. Something epic. Now, the word epic means super big and super awesome. Something that is way better than the ordinary. For example, here we have ordinary Olaf. And then we have epic Olaf. Now, admit it, guys, this guy is so much bigger and way more awesome than ordinary Olaf. Sorry, little guy, but you get the idea. And during August, we will be studying something that is also pretty big. Something that is so large that it fits around the entire planet. Something epic. It's God's love. God's love for you and for me. And although you might be thinking that you have already heard before about how much love God has for us, but it is a much bigger, more awesome love than we sometimes realize. And it's worthy of a reminder to us. Because there isn't anything common or ordinary about the big love God has for us. And if you were like me, and I think you are, we should be so aware of the ways that God's love just keeps on coming to us. I know that many of us, we love Jesus, and we try hard to obey him and live a life that pleases him. But then there are those times when we mess up. Maybe we're selfish, or we have an unkind word, or impatient. And then in times like those, I am reminded how glad I am that God's love doesn't run out. It doesn't reach a limit. It's epic. So join us all month as we dive deep into the ways that the great, great love of God is so important for us and for those people around us. So until next time, remember that we love you and God is good all the time.
Priceless treasure. God knows me, God hears me, God is my comfort. I am his and there's nothing better. Forgiven and chosen forever. I am a treasure. I am a priceless treasure. God knows me, God hears me, God is my comfort. There's nothing better, forgiven and chosen forever. I am a treasure. always makes a way. I am his and he is mine. I am the prize he came to find. I am a priceless treasure. God knows me, God hears me, God is my comfort. I am his and there's nothing better, forgiven and chosen forever. I am a treasure. I am a child of God. I know that I am loved. He hears me when I pray. He always makes a way. I am his and he is mine. And I am the prize he came to find. I am a priceless treasure. God knows me, God hears me, God is my comfort. I am his and there's nothing better, forgiven and chosen forever. I am a treasure. I am a priceless treasure. God knows me, God hears me, God is my comfort. I am his and there's nothing better, forgiven and chosen forever. I am a treasure. I am a treasure. I am a treasure.
You take all the pieces of my life, put them back together, make it all alright. Oh, you forgive me. Only you can heal my broken heart, make all things new with a brand new start. Oh, you forgive me. You forgive me. I try so hard to do things right, but I make the wrong choice sometimes. And you forgive me. No one knows me, God, like you. You see who I am, not what I do. And you forgive me. You take all the pieces of my life, put them back together, make it all alright. Oh, you forgive me. Only you can heal my broken heart, make all things new with a brand new start. Oh, you forgive me. I try so hard to do things right,
The longest fingernails are almost 30 feet long. That's 3 feet per finger. Ugh. Oh, hey everybody. It's me, Jacob. Just catching up on a little reading. I love to read. Sometimes it's just really nice to turn off all the screens and open up a good book. There are all kinds of books out there for all kinds of people. Like Westerns. This town ain't big enough for the both of us, partner. Or fantasies. You shall not pass! Also, cookbooks. You're gonna set the mixer to puree for 14 minutes! And even audiobooks. The longest fingernails are nearly 30 feet long. That's 3 feet per finger. Oh, here's a book I remember. Kimberly Toast's Book of Manners. It's about being polite and following the rules. It tells you things like which fork is a salad fork, or how you're not supposed to have your elbows on the dining room table. You know, saying things like please and thank you. There's so many rules. It's like there's a rule for everything. So many books are about so many different things. And there are millions of books on what we're gonna talk about today. Love. Love is showing others how much they matter to you. Today's story is about love, and it's about rules. Really, it's about the most important rule ever, and how the people who saw only a book of rules were missing out on a way more epic love story. Did you know it's impolite to burp in front of strangers? I've been doing it all wrong. I'll see you soon.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 34 through 40.
Unlike the nations around them, the Israelites worshipped only one God.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
When God led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, God called Moses up to the top of Mount Sinai.
You have seen how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, you will be my treasured possession and a holy nation.
Out of a deep love, God gave Moses a set of 10 rules so that the people would know how to live in their newfound freedom.
Here is what God says. Don't put any other gods in place of me. Don't make statues of other gods to worship. Don't misuse the name of the Lord your God. Rest on the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor your father and mother. Do not murder. Keep your promises to your husband or wife. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not be jealous or envious of what others have.
There were 10 commandments, and many additional laws too.
But it's not stealing if I just happen to borrow my neighbor's best donkey grooming brush, right?
Some people look for ways around all those rules. Other people were so scared of breaking the rules they'd spent their whole lives trying to get it exactly right.
What if I walk too far on the Sabbath and get out of breath? That's not resting. We better say you can't go outside the city at all on the Sabbath.
There were 613 laws in total, and even more that the religious leaders added. They spent hundreds of years trying to get those laws exactly right and to make sure others did too. It was really the only way they knew that they would be sure that God was pleased with them.
You can't sacrifice this goat in the temple. It has a freckle 3/8 of an inch behind its right front leg.
Even under Roman rule, the Jewish leaders made sure to keep every single law perfectly, but they were more worried about getting things right than about what was in their hearts.
Then, Jesus showed up, traveling and teaching, but he didn't act like any other teacher or rabbi. He gathered followers from the outcasts, fishermen, and tax collectors.
Come, follow me.
Jesus spent time with the people everyone else avoided. He made blind people see, and those who couldn't walk get up and dance. He healed those with terrible skin diseases.
Look! Look! My skin is clean! I can go home to my family!
Jesus invited women to follow him, something no other rabbi would do. He welcomed little children and blessed them, even though most people saw kids as a nuisance.
The kingdom of heaven belongs to people like them.
Jesus told a story in which a Samaritan, a person who was viewed as the enemy by Jews, was the hero. And when Jesus was giving out a list of people blessed by God, it certainly didn't include perfect rule followers.
Blessed are those who are humble. They will be given the earth.
Yep, Jesus was turning things upside down, and the religious leaders did not like it one bit, so they started looking for ways to trap him. One day they saw Jesus approaching a man with a twisted hand.
Jesus, does the law allow us to heal on the Sabbath day?
They wanted to catch Jesus breaking the law by healing the man, but instead, Jesus said,
What if one of your sheep falls into a pit on the Sabbath day? Won't you lift it out? A person is worth more than sheep. So the law allows us to do good on the Sabbath day.
Then, Jesus healed the man's hand.
Preposterous.
During Passover week, the whole city was stirred up to see what Jesus would do, and the religious leaders were desperate to silence him. Several of the leaders, called Pharisees, came to Jesus. One of them was an expert in all 613 laws, and he was sure he could turn the crowd against Jesus.
Teacher!
The law expert waited until there was a silence so that everyone would hear.
Which is the most important commandment in the law?
The law expert told himself gleefully,
Jesus will have to pick just one law, and then I can point out all the other laws he's ignoring, and everyone will get upset.
But Jesus said simply,
Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your mind. This is the first and most important commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Before the law expert could tear this answer apart, Jesus continued,
Everything that is written in the law and the prophets is based on these two commandments.
But,
In a few short sentences, Jesus had taken 613 laws and wrapped them up in just two things to remember. Love God, love others. Instead of rules, it's about hearts. If you love God, you won't put other things ahead of God. If you love others, you won't steal or break promises to them.
Instead of memorizing long lists of rules, God simply wants followers of Jesus to ask, what does it look like today for me to love God and love others? It wasn't easy back then, and it isn't easy for us now, but God will pour out love in our hearts anytime we ask.
There are a lot of rules in life, and some people see this, the Bible, as a book of rules. And it's true, the Bible does include God's rules for our lives, but it's way more than that. It's a collection of stories. But a Samaritan came to the place where the man was. When he saw the man, he felt sorry for him. Letters? I, Paul, am writing this letter. Silas and Timothy joined me in writing. We are sending this letter to you, the members of the church in Thessalonica, anyway, the church in that place, poems and songs. The Lord is my shepherd. And a whole lot of history. The Bible was written by a bunch of different writers over hundreds of years. And yet somehow, miraculously, it tells the same epic love story. It's about God's amazing love for people throughout history, ending with God's amazing love for you and me. And Jesus boils all of God's rules for our lives down to this: love the Lord your God and love your neighbor. Love God and love others. And I think you could even say it like this: love God by loving others. Show you love God by loving the people God has created. So, when you're kind to someone in need, you're loving God. When you cheer someone up who's sad, you're loving God. When you take care of someone who's sick, you're loving God. And when you forgive someone, you're loving God. So, here's the one thing to remember today: love God by loving others. That's a good rule to follow. Way better than not belching in front of strangers. What? We're not strangers. Also, excuse me. I'll see you next time.